The Namanga border post has now been classified as a high-risk area after recording increasing numbers of COVID-19 infections. In the last 24 hours, 29 cases have been confirmed out of tests carried out both sides of the border. A worrying trend that has now seen East African heads of state agreeing to set up a mobile laboratory in the area to tame the spread to local communities. As our very own Chemutai Goin reports, Kenya's positive cases continues to soar, hitting 737 as 22 more people were confirmed, with 4 more deaths recorded.
Over the past 72 hours, Namanga border has become a headache for the government. New cases of the coronavirus disease recorded on Wednesday among truck drivers, the highest ever, 29, 4 confirmed on the Kenyan side involving 3 Kenyans and 1 Ugandan, and 25 cases on the Tanzanian side, 23 being their nationals, 1 Ugandan and 1 Rwandese, all truck drivers.
This is an area that we have now classified as a high risk.
Alarmed by the spread mostly attributed to truck drivers, the East African community has deployed a mobile laboratory with quick turnaround to test drivers and residents of the border town.
Of course, placing the mobile lab in Namanga was one, to be able to address the snarl-up at the border and also to ensure seamless movement of cargo from our neighboring country, from Tanzania to Kenya and vice versa.
During Tuesday's meeting between heads of state and government within the EAC, President Kenyatta called for cooperation so as to flatten the curve. Wednesday, the U.S. Embassy in Tanzania sounding a warning over what it termed as rising and unreported COVID-19 cases in Tanzania, sparking fear of a possible widespread.
So that mobile lab, which somebody said was asking why is it to be put in the Tanzanian border if the Tanzanians are not going to accept our results. It is for our protection because we will test people who are coming in.
With guidelines for movement of goods and services during the COVID period having been outlined, truckers must be tested 24 to 48 hours before starting a journey. Checkpoints will be strategically placed for monitoring, stopovers and quarantine areas to be dictated to facilitate surveillance, which will be crucial in contact tracing. Already the rules have taken effect, these queues serving as evidence. Some of these truckers have been here for 3 days awaiting testing and clearance. The drivers protesting, calling for synchronization of the coronavirus test results between the various East African border points.
Mimi niko na certificate mbili, ila nilipimwa nikitoka Kenya ya Busia na Kurundi, na hawataki kutumia hizo. Wanasema kila mbonda wanachukua vipimo zao.
Nimekuja hapa tangu Jumanne mpaka leo. Niko hapa leo ndo nimepima katika siku zote hizo.
What is, however, of concern is that with the frustration over the time spent in seeking clearance, truckers will opt for illegal or alternative routes. For instance, reports indicate that the Kenyan-Tanzanian border interventor is being used to bypass checks. And as many continue to literally flirt with death, the virus claimed 4 more lives in the last 24 hours. 2 people from Mombasa, 1 from Nairobi and 1 other from Bomet. 22 are, however, discharged as 22 more tested positive, pushing the total cases in the country to 737. So far, 20 counties have been hit, Bomet being the latest to record a case. 16 of the contacts have since been placed in mandatory quarantine. It appears the biggest headache for the government is whether to close or not close the borders, despite the EAC coming up with guidelines to control movement of goods and services. Chemutai Goin, Citizen TV, Nairobi.